don't have the love of comics like these older writers had. And all they care about is, how can I put myself in the book? No, we don't care what you would do if you were Iron Man. We don't care who you are. You're writing Tony Stark. You're not writing yourself in a book. If that's the case, write your own comic with you in it. No one will read it because nobody cares. People are growing up loving Peter Parker, loving Miles Morales, loving all these Captain America. We don't need you to put your input in it. Just write Steve Rogers. Don't write Steve Rogers. What would Steve Rogers be if I was Steve Rogers? That's not how it works. But that's again how most of these new people write nowadays. That's why most of the stuff is shit.
Mic check, mic check. What is up, everybody? How's it going? It is I, Decrepit, your gracious host, the hooded lad in the corner of the cantina, and we are back for another gracious Monday stream on a Tuesday. This is Hangout with your Floppy, where we talk movie, comic books, and comic book recommendations, and all of that jazz, all that nerd shit. It's a pleasure to see all of you guys in the chat. We had a few people already in the room before we started the stream. Let's say what's up to you guys real quick. Oddball, always good to see you, Oddball. What's up, man? Hail. WB sale, crazy rumors, most likely just a lot of grifting. Oh, we're going to touch on that tonight. Good to see you, SWA. Good to see you in the room. Return of the intro. Yeah, man. So what happened was I ended up talking to Narrow Dark and Keeley when we wrapped up the last week's Unlimited Tirade episode, and we went ahead and they were telling me about how I can just play clips by just sharing them to the stage if I just added them from my file list. So ended up figuring that out. So we do have the intro back, making a return of the intro. What's up, dude? What's up, man? Good to see you. Hail. Yeah, he is a base comic store owner. Good to see you, man. Hope you're good. Hope you're okay. Hi there, Decrepit. Hope you're well. What's up, Stig? Good to see you, sir. Leland. Hello, Leland. Good to see you, man. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully we have a good show for you tonight. It's going to be pretty relaxed. We're going to go over, of course, the new comics for the week dropping this Wednesday, how we typically do on these shows, and then we're going to get into some talking about like the superhero news and what have you. Definitely going to touch base on the Warner Brothers grifting that's been going on for the sale. Definitely going to touch on that. So hopefully you guys stick around. Let's enjoy the show. So first things first, of course, we're going to go ahead and start talking about, let me get this on screen real quick. All right, there we go. Of course, we are on leagueofcomicgeeks.com if you want to be on your phone or another device and follow along with us, or just pay attention by watching the screen. We're going to go ahead and go through some of the new books that are releasing this week. Unfortunately, like I said, man, I'm not really reading a whole lot of new ones, but there are people that are following some of these in the community, so they appreciate when I go over these. So just bear with me as we go through a couple of these rows. All right, guys. So first on the list, of course, we got a lot of DC releases. We got Absolute Flash number 9 hitting the shelf. Nightwing number 132 is going to be hitting. Birds of a Feather Part 1. We got Ultimates number 18 from Marvel. And then we finally are getting the Batman Deadpool number 1, part of the DC and Marvel crossover. I thought this had already released prior, but apparently they went ahead and they are finally releasing the issue number 1. Synopsis for this one reads, the Dark Knight and the Merc with a Mouth team up for an adventure so mind-bending you'll think you're in a dream. Brought to you by legendary creators Grant Morrison and Dan Mora. And be sure not to miss these incredible extra stories. Scott Snyder, James Tinian IV, and Joshua Williamson team up with Hayden Sherman for a magical Constantine Doctor Strange tale. Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo bring you an epic Nightwing Dick Grayson and Laura Kinney Wolverine story. Mariko Tamaki and Amanda Connor smash Harley Quinn and the Hulk together. That one's kind of an odd mashup, if you guys don't mind me saying. G. Willow Wilson and Denny's Cowan tell an electrifying Static and Miss Marvel yarn. So I don't know anything about this one. Like I said, these crossover books have been happening this year like a madman. I've always been touching on like the Godzilla crossover books have been pretty popular with a lot of people, and now we're getting these crossovers from Marvel and DC. I have to be determined, to be announced how these are going to actually hit once they hit the shelves, like how that hits the fan base. That cover right there is pretty nice. Lee Bermerjo, he does pretty good work. I like his Jokers. But yeah, finally is going to happen. Okay, there's that Harley Quinn and Hulk cover. That's not a bad cover. I like the cartoonish aspect. Harley is always good in like a comedic cartoon anime or animation kind of style. And Batman and Punisher, that'd be kind of sick actually. But yeah, so to be announced on how to be determined, I guess I could say that's more appropriate on how this is going to actually hit when it hits the shelves. So yeah, we'll go ahead and check that out once it hits. World's Finest from Batman and Superman number 45 is dropping. The Amazing Spider-Man is hitting issue number 16 featuring Plague this week. And then we got Titans number 29. One World Under Doom number 9. I'm not too familiar with the One World Under Doom series. I think I touched on this like a few floppies or a few Hangout with Your Floppy streams back. Like I want to say like probably like 3-4 months ago. But the Doom stuff was kind of like part of the hype train that's going on with the whole Doomsday film that Marvel's going to be releasing, and like who knows when. I think they're saying 2027 is when it's coming out. I could be wrong. Somebody in the chat could correct me, but we'll never know. You got Wonder Woman number 27 coming out, New Gods number 12, Punisher Red Band number 3, Exquisite Corpses from Image Comics number 7. Exquisite Corpses, that's a remake series. The original Exquisite Corpses run came out back in the late 90s on Dark Horse, if I'm not mistaken. We got G.I. Joe number 14 is going to be hitting the shelf. Captain America number 5, part of the new run. Justice League Red number 4. Superman Unlimited number 7. Catwoman number 81. Predator Kills the Marvel Universe number 4. And then we got Unbreakable X-Men number 2. X-Men Book of Revelation number 2. Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe number 5. Radioactive Spider-Man number 2. Man, this is a whole lot of nothing. I have no idea about any of these books. I'm just going to be real with you guys. Nova Centurion number 1. The Last Wolverine number 2. Man, all new Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider number. Man, Marvel's just putting out a whole lot of nothing, ain't they? Everything Dead and Dying number 3. The Walking Dead Deluxe number 125. Oh, we got another fake Star Wars comic coming out from Marvel. Star Wars Jedi Knights number 9. Let's go ahead and take a look, and we can chuckle at this one real quick. Let's see what this says. The secret of Corliss Wrath is revealed. The mysterious Corliss Wrath has hunted Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn across the galaxy. Now learn why in this first part of the deadly villain's origin. Guest starring the enigmatic Count Dooku. So we get a Count Dooku cameo in this one. Of course, this is probably going to be happening during the Darth Plagueis novel or something, and that doesn't even look like Qui-Gon Jinn. That's crazy, man, dude. I hate them so much for doing stuff like this. Still, yeah, fuck this. I was trying not to swear for like the first like 15 minutes, but they already got me with this one. Mark Guggenheim. I don't even know who that guy is. He's a joker if he's writing a Disney Star Wars book. Anyway, let's go. I'm kind of just skimming through this, guys, because this isn't the main focus of the stream tonight. Tonight, I want to touch on a few other things. Oh, yeah, here we go. We were at Omega Kids number 2, and then we got Sonic the Hedgehog number 82. Spawn, The Dark Ages number 1. Now, I was convinced that Dark Ages already was on like a later issue, like I want to say 11 or 12. This might be the second print, if I'm not mistaken. Spawn, The Dark Ages number 1, second print. But I think I'll just go ahead and click on it. Let's see. Exciting new mini series, or is one of 6? Okay, so it's a mini series. All right. I was under the impression then Medieval Spawn. Medieval Spawn is the one I'm talking about. That's the one I'm referring to prior, guys. Okay. So Medieval Spawn has already come out, but Dark Ages, this is a brand new mini series. Right on. Gotcha. Okay. I just had to use the old noodle a little bit, guys. The old ramen pack. All right. And then we got from Image Comics, we got News from the Fallout #6. And then from back, another Image book, Ghost Pepper #5, Undiscovered Country #34. We got Twilight Zone issue #2 from IDW Publishing came out. I was trying to get an issue #1 of that Twilight Zone series, but I guess I'll have to go check the LCS this week. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones #2, Spider-Man Holiday Spectacular #1. Hello Darkness #16 from Boom Studios. Now, when I look at this cover for this one, guys, this one definitely is like reminiscent of like the Hannibal Lecter film. And if you guys haven't seen that already, well, like spoiler alert, it's been out for like 20 years already, so boo-hoo to you. But there's a scene at the ending of the Hannibal Lecter film where Hannibal like peels or cuts off like the top of a head, kind of like this, and then he kind of like peels the membrane layer and then serves the brain to somebody and then to the own guy that he cut up the head off of. So I don't know anything about this series. I just think this cover looked pretty cool. That's really close to Harley Quinn design, by the way, for this one. So I don't know. To each their own. All right, real quick. I think we're on row 6, I want to say. And I've been kind of going off here real quick. We'll stop right there and then let's get to the chat. Just one moment, real quick. All right. Did I watch Black Lion? I have not gotten the chance to, SWA. Please forgive me. Decrepit, just drop my first EU book review and gonna start reviewing EU comics soon. That's good. That sounds like productive content. I'll be looking out for that. I was told the new Thundercats comic run is good. You know what? So I peeped issue #1. It's basically like a retelling of the original story. So that's what it is. For the new one from Dynamite. I didn't pick up issue 2 because I read issue 1, but I didn't buy it. My comic shop owner, he just lets me skim through books when I go in there and I'm just talking shit. And I'll just be like, oh, what's this bullshit that came out this week? And he'll just start handing me books and he'll be like, oh, take a look at this, take a look at that, check out the interior art for this one. So did you get a chance to watch any Black? Okay, you already asked me that. No, I haven't yet. My apologies. My apologies. Should have been Batman and Nighthawk. Should have been Batman and Moon Knight. Batman and Moon Knight sounds a little more up the alley. Mark Guggenheim loves his All City drama. Does he really? The Kenobi show destroyed Qui-Gon. Yeah, he can't be a Force ghost since his body was burned. Didn't become one with the Force. Could only manifest his voice because no body to manifest. Yep, that's exactly right. I was watching. So shout out to Bunt's Books because I was on Bunt's Books YouTube channel today, and I was just skimming through, and I was in the garage working on some stuff. I had an early day for work, so I was just doing some stuff around the property and in the garage. And I was listening to some excerpts from a lot of the EU novels that Bunt's Books likes to post out on his page. And I was coming across the excerpt from the Kenobi novel. And man, dude, like just the 3 minutes from that novel completely like blew out of the water anything that Disney tried to come up with. It was just it's so embarrassing what they tried to do. So embarrassing. So yeah, they don't know the lore, bro. They don't know the lore. They don't know the canon. They know not what they do, but they do know. Guggenheim is the reason the Arrow show went downhill. That makes a lot more sense now. That makes quite a lot of sense. Okay, right on. All right, let's get back to it. I just wanted to make sure I didn't lose you guys. Try to keep up with you guys as much as I can. Final Boss #1 from Image Comics is debuting this Wednesday. And then we got Space Ghost #5 from Dynamite. I've heard great things about Space Ghost. I surely have. We got Starship Godzilla #2, and then from Image Comics, Viking Moon #2. I do not know what this is. Let's take a look at this real quick, guys. You guys know anything that's like macabre or horror-esque kind of looking? I have to check it out. Werewolves versus Vikings. That sounds sick. Ulf and his tribe of Vikings sought a new life among the green, untamed land of the New World. Instead, they have found horror and death. Barely surviving his first encounter with the native people and their supernatural protectors, Ulk seeks shelter for his people amongst the ruins of the Leif Erikson settlement for decades earlier. A tale of blood-curdling horror and barbaric adventure from Eisner Award winner Joe Pruitt and legendary artist Marcelo Frusin. Okay, this sounds interesting. Yeah, because Frusin worked on Hellblazer and Kick-Ass. This seems interesting. I might have to go. I might have to inquire about this one. Who doesn't love a good werewolf story and then werewolves and Vikings? What are the Vikings or the Nord mythology version of, or no, they turn into bears. They're like berserkers that they turn into bears, not wolves. That I like that mythology a lot too. That shit's pretty cool. Yeah, you have to excuse me guys, the pop-ups. I'm on a really old computer. I have to upgrade my hardware really soon. Like I have to upgrade like the computer and the hardware like at least by December or January. All right, we're almost through it, guys. Not a whole lot to really like mention and like break your neck for this week. We have Harley Quinn and Elvira #2 coming out. There was that crossover that they put together between Dynamite and DC, and then we got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Part 3. So it's the third volume of that series. That's issue #3 that's coming out this Wednesday. We got Creep Show #3 from Image Comics. New Creep Show. Let's take a look at Creep Show real quick. The creepiest show yet continues. Alex Packnadel and Amiclaire Pina step behind the velvet rope for a night that will thrill your taste buds with tasteless activities. Then, Bram Stoker Award nominated author Philip Francasi and Robert Carey invite you to the movies where good behavior is a matter of life and a whole lot of death. Right on. This looks pretty neat. I'll have to give this a check out. I'm always into that looks like really reminiscent of like some Mars Attacks. I had to think about it. I was gonna say Attack on Mars, but that would have been the non-proper way to say it. All right. Scrolling back down. Here we go. Right here. All right, and then we got No Man's Land #3 from Image is coming out as well. Red Book #2, Martian Heretic #2. That's from Boom Studios. Hold on real quick. I think I gotta sneeze real quick, guys. It's like one of those sneezes that's like 3 of them in a row. Anyway, excuse me, guys. Pardon me. We got Vampirella #6, the new volume of Vampirella from Dynamite. The Terminator Metal #2, Star Trek: The Last Starship #2, Racer X #3, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe: The Sword of Flaws #2. That's published by Dark Horse. I wonder if Dark Horse has been putting out some good stuff. I haven't really been paying attention to them as much as I need to be. We have Silverhawks #10. That was another one of those Stig. If you're in here and you were asking about Thundercats, Silverhawks is kind of like in the same boat. It's like a rehashing, a revamp, a retelling of like the original story for like the quote the new audiences and stuff. The Herculoids #10 is also debuting this Wednesday. It killed everyone but me #3 from Mad Cave Studios. I do like Mad Cave Studios, but I have not checked out that book, so might have to give that some thought. I think we're getting close to like the more like double prints and second prints out of this line. We got Gotcha Man #14 from Mad Cave Studios as well. Critical Role Vox Machina Origins #6. And then we got reprints, of course, of the Absolute Batman books. We got Absolute Batman #9 and Absolute Batman #8 and their second printings this week. And let me just check real quick. Ferocious #1 from Mad Cave Studios. Looks like some real Children of the Corn shit. And then we got Mickey Mouse #1 from Fantagraphic Books. The Phantom Blots Double Revenge. Dude, remember this? I remember like the old Disney cartoons with these guys, the Phantom Blots. That's actually kind of neat. I'm not gonna read this because I don't give Disney my money, but that just took me back. Like that was just like a nostalgic little hit, real quick. And how interesting. I almost said how nice, but we don't want to say that. It is Disney after all. I think that's about it, man. I know what you guys are probably thinking. It's a little lackluster this week, Decrepit, and you guys are probably right. All right, sorry if I'm scrolling too fast. And then we have an Absolute Batman 2025 annual #1 reprint, of course. Grim Tales of Terror #11. Absolute Batman #3 is getting its 6th printing. Jesus Christ. And then we got Absolute Batman #2 is getting its 7th printing. And then Batman #2 is getting its 2nd printing as well. All right, I think that might be the gist of the books, because yeah, we're getting into like the real like fringe stuff that nobody really knows about. And I probably should check some of these like indie books down here about, but look at this one. Let's look at this one just to be a fucking just because I'm gonna be a degenerate real quick. This one's called Big Titty Goth Girlfriends on the Moon. Oh, sick. This is sick. Who wants to even care what it's about? Who wants to even read a synopsis? Am I right? Let's just. Are they gay? Ah, I bet they're gay. uh, Let me read it real quick. After a rocky return with the colony, Callie and Grimm have been granted an audience with the Queen. Learn the strange origins of the Goth colony and the Queen. Who wants to get crash landed on the Goth colony, guys? I think that'll probably wrap up. I think there's not too many like worth books mentioning this week, so I think we could probably just stop it right there real quick. Let me catch you guys up in chat real quick. All right. We got Scran. Star Wars Scran is in the building. What's up? Howdy, Decrepit in chat. What's up, Scran? Good to see you, brother. We got Edwin. Howdy, everyone. What's up, Edwin? Good to see you. Just came from Melvin. Yeah. If you guys are coming from the Melvin show, appreciate you guys spilling over this way. Shout out to the Knights of Melvin and Darth Melvin, leader of the Knights of Melvin. Shout out to those guys over there. All right. He said, I bet you they can't do Viking names well. Usually made up words for names. Oof, that would suck. I hope not. They're berserkers. I think they were just called berserkers, but tomato tomato. Norse mythology is awesome. It is. I enjoyed Norse mythology. Did anybody in the chat watch the show Vikings? Oh, hold on real quick. I'm gonna take the let's stop sharing this page. We'll go ahead and we'll stop sharing that page. We don't need to look at that no more. If anybody watched the show Vikings, I really enjoyed that show about Ragnar Lothbrok and the pillage and raiding that he did out in the old England what do they call it? Anglo-Saxon days or the I don't know. Somebody can correct me. I'm not a college educated individual, guys. You'll have to forgive me. Hail Scran, Hail SWA and Elwin. Yep. I grew up with Norse mythology, was even part of our basic education. I am Norwegian. Now, that makes sense, Stig. That makes a lot of sense, actually. You're part of the world. That would make sense. I went to high school in Texas, and I learned about Texas history for a couple classes, so definitely understand. I guess the It Show isn't creepier than what? SWA. Werewolf book looks good. Yeah, it looks decent. Might give it a shot. Might give it a chance. There's a Lion King comic book. Yeah, that's what it. Here I'm not going to share it on screen again, but I can tell you what it says if you'd like, man. Oh yeah, Lion King #1 from Dynamite. Let me see what it says. I'm just reading this for him real quick. Get ready to return to the sweeping plains of Africa for a brand new series of adventures starring Mufasa and Simba. Okay. The Lion King follows the ruler of the Pride Lands and his young heir as they navigate the complex network of relationships that make up their kingdom and learn firsthand how to defend it against the forces that threaten it from both the outside and from within. All right, there you go. That's what that book's about. Oh, who knew? Yeah, Dynamite actually has the license to do a lot of the Disney properties. Edwin, I don't know if you're familiar. They did the Darkwing Duck book. There was a Goofy comic about 2 or 3 years back, and then there was a Goof Troop thing that they did like 4 years ago. I want to say, but for sure, I remember Silverhawks was an 80s cartoon. Yeah, man, I have the original Silverhawks issue number 1 in my short box in storage actually. But to wrap that up, sorry, I was starting to laugh at Edwin's chat. The Starhawks or the Silverhawks, excuse me, the Silverhawks comic was pretty interesting. I enjoyed it. That was funny, wasn't it, Edwin? Linkara is going to get triggered by that comic. Yas, yas. Vikings was great. Yeah, Vikings was a great show, dude. I enjoyed it completely. How's Stargirl? I'm on episode 5 right now, and it's great. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I'm going to talk about it fully when I wrap it up. So I'm bear with me, guys. You guys are great for keeping tabs on me on my progress. I appreciate it. The Viking show is fun, but damn, it is not accurate whatsoever. Yeah, I can understand that. I could get the frustration for historical inaccuracies. Like I think there was some things with Ivar the Boneless and Seeger, I think his name was, and two more of Ragnar Lothbrok's sons. The history that they got with them is all effed up all over the place. Then the comic. Okay, thank you, SWA. Silverhawks is just Thundercats, but they're birds in space. Yeah, bird. Yeah, they're cats from space, and then they're like birds, but they're no, they're like a tactical like space cop unit, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I read the original comic. I have the Brave Star movie on my channel. Okay, okay. I'm gonna. Yes, Dig, you do have a channel. I think I gotta go sub to that. I watched Vikings, but not accurate for sure. Hail Decrepit Stig and Star Wars Scran, Backseater, Rest Obey, and everyone. Hail Darth Leviathan. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate it you being here. Vikings Valhalla was a disappointment. I never got to Valhalla. I didn't make it by then. I got kind of fatigued when I was watching like the story after Ragnar. Spoiler alert. If you guys don't want to hear it, mute it for like 5 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, 3. When Ragnar Lothbrok passes away, and they start focusing the story on like Bjorn and Ivar and the other sons of Ragnar. I kind of like I was still watching it and I completed it, but once like Lagatha died and then Rolo died and Floki was like he passed, and like once a lot of the main cast died, I was kind of out of it. When Bjorn died too, Bjorn's death pissed me off, and then yeah, yeah. They pronounce Ragnar wrong. It is pronounced Ragnar, not Ragnar. It is just spelled Ragnar. Ragnar. Okay, okay. Uh, I go to. I got to go to bed. Night, everyone. All right, night. See ya. A girl who was in my class when we were kids, a neighbor of mine. She's a direct descendant of Ragnar Lothbrok. Really? How interesting. That's pretty cool. One of my really good friends is actually related to the lady that wrote the original author of the Frankenstein story. Mary Shelley, like one of her like great 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 grandsons is like one of my really good friends in my friend circle. Man of Tomorrow is probably going to be like Batman versus Superman. Too much stuff happening at once. We're going to get to that. SWA. I appreciate you. He's eager. SWA is eager. Yeah. All right. Appreciate you guys being communicative and responsive in the chat. Appreciate you guys being part of the conversation. All right. So I think we're going to go ahead and get to it because a few of you are fiending. But is it a grift or is it facts? We're gonna talk about it right now because it's all up in the air, and we can never trust articles or rumors that we hear. We're not gonna be dwelling on fake sources, if you will. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm trying to be about. I never will claim to have an insider scoop when I don't, and I really don't have that kind of pull. I'm just a guy who works blue collar during the day and does this YouTube shit at night. So But we do have talk about the current standings for the DC universe. Let's go ahead and share this screen right now. Let me get it up. Okay, so there's a lot of talk right now, okay, that Warner Brothers is being sold, right? Warner Brothers is up for sale, and there's a lot of people that are clawing around at each other trying to get their hands on this property because there's a lot of IPs connected to this company, right? Warner Brothers, like we got, like first of all, you got Looney Tunes, the Looney Tunes universe, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, all those characters. That's a big one in itself. But then, of course, we got the DC property. The entirety of DC is put out by Warner Brothers, and that's huge too. Like just those two alone is insane to own both of those. But I digress. It's a lot of IPs under this company, right? And I think that the news that we're getting spilled out right now is mostly rumor and mostly just hearsay. I was watching. Who was I watching this morning? I was watching Tyrone Magnus, and he's a bigger YouTube channel on the website, and I've been watching Tyrone Magnus for quite some time now, and he put out a video basically saying, or he's kind of like feeding into the hype that Zack Snyder is going to come back, and then we're going to get the return of the Snyderverse. James Gunn is going to get the boot, and like I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. I've definitely made it very public that I'm not happy with the James Gunn universe. I'm not a fan of the direction that he's taking all of this. I'm not a fan of what Superman did and what the movie had in it. You know what I mean? Like there was things that I liked about the movie, but I'm not a really big fan of what I saw on the screen. Like at most out of 10, I would probably give it like a 3 or a 4. And I hope some people can hear me out, because I definitely have like spilled my feelings on that in a prior stream. You guys can, I'll probably link it in the description. But anyway, I'm not a fan of what I saw with Superman. The Peacemaker show, I watched the first season and then I heard about what the second season entailed, and I was like, yeah, right, get the fuck out of here. I'm good. And then I watched the animated show that they did. I forget what they called those guys, but you see, that's how forgetful it was. But there was an animated show that came out, and I tried to look at that because that was like the first project that James Gunn had put out for like his DCU. I forget the name of that fucking show. It's gonna bother me. Hold on, now I gotta look it up. I'm a fake news proprietor. Uh, animated DC show, James Gunn. Future Commandos. Okay. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, thank you, SWA. I'm over here. I hit no death sticks tonight, guys. I am clear headed, sober as a priest on Sunday over here. Um, wouldn't the gun fans get triggered by this? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the Snyder Bros. Tyrone Magnus. He's a Snyder bro. He's a big fan of the Zack Snyder DC story, and he loves Man of Steel. He liked Batman versus Superman, the extended version, and like I said, man, I've said it before. I'm not trying to be a broken record. I liked some things in Man of Steel, but it's not my ideal Superman film. It's not the one that I run to. Like I run to Christopher Reeve's 1978 Superman for anything. You know what I mean? So, but Warner Brothers owns New Line Cinema, which means the Lord of the Rings movie. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, what came out? Amazon had that War for the Rohirrim animated movie that they put out. Me and my brother went to go see that. My brother was pissed because my brother yeah, yeah. I'll just leave. I'll just stop there. He was pissed. But anyway, all right. So, like I said, this is a whole lot of rumor. There's a lot of Snyder Bros that are getting excited by murmurs like this. Cosmic Book News put this out, and this was covered by Tyrone Magnus the day before yesterday or today. I want to say, I forget when he put out the video, but I wanted to go ahead and cover this too because I'm not like, take this all with a grain of salt, guys. I am not putting this out as real or fake news. Okay. So this article goes as follows. DC Crisis, James Gunn teaming with Zack Snyder, Saudis. Okay, so it says, I've had a follow-up conversations with my insiders asking the obvious question: if the Snyderverse really is coming back, what happens to James Gunn? Well, I would assume that James Gunn would not be happy about that, and he'd probably step away or be asked to step down. In my opinion, he says we have previously reported that when WBD is sold, Gunn is expected to be out as head of the DC studios. So they underline that, but they say we have previously reported. Okay, so it's a speculation. There's no confirmation about this at all. After our report, Gunn even publicly questioned his own future. He continues to focus only on his Superman family saga, not the larger DCU he originally announced. And insiders say that's because he knows a sale is coming. Well, I think this might have been general knowledge to him as he was getting in. Or it could have been kept from him. I'm not exactly entirely sure. But if you're giving this guy a position to head this entire DC franchise on the big screen, maybe he'd be kind of like having some ins and outs, knowing of the plans that you guys have for the next like 5 years or so, including his own. But it goes on saying Paramount and political pressure complicate Gunn's position. We were also told that if David Ellison and Paramount bought WBD, Gunn would be done. Ellison is connected to Trump, and Variety recently confirmed that we've been reporting Paramount is going MAGA. Update Variety now reports Paramount has teamed with the Saudis to buy WBD. So, okay, that's an update right there. And everyone's talking about Saudi companies coming in. I don't know for a fact if James Gunn, if Zack Snyder is teaming up with any of these companies because they're fans of the Snyderverse themselves and they want to bring it back. You never know the agendas behind these people that want to get involved. But interesting wording from all this. Very interesting and very leading or misleading, given how you feel about it. It continues to say Gunn has a long and well known history with conservatives, and his DCU has been viewed as politically divisive, if not outright woke, a major issue for any Trump aligned ownership group. So I know that James Gunn has like gone he's gone on X and he's gone back and forth with some people, or there's like some things that he said as like a press release kind of statement or what have you. So I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to quote it if I don't know it off the top of my head. But I know that yeah, he is definitely probably not a fan of Trump or conservatism. And I just really wish, like, regardless of my own politics, I really wish that we could just get back to telling just good stories, wholesome stories of just like characters and how they were originally written, and let's not like let politics dictate this stuff. You know what I mean? But anyway, I just think it's kind of annoying. We've seen it for so long now; it's just getting really old. It says Saudi's now the front runner to buy WBD. Landscape shifted again when the Saudis emerged as the front runner to purchase WBD. So this is an update, according to this article. That update we saw. Maybe we'll click on that to see what they say. According to the Hollywood producer who first dropped the news, the deal is one signature away. Our insiders say that if the Saudis take over, the Snyderverse will return with Zack Snyder back in full swing. Christopher Nolan may also return as producer. Interesting. Christopher Nolan coming back. That's interesting. We've been told the Saudis want to return a Snyderverse level event to rival Marvel and Avengers Doomsday. Now, My bad. Where we leave off? Where'd you guys lose me at? What's the last thing that you guys heard me say? Yeah, my bad, guys. I was totally not even looking at the main screen. I was just ranting on the article page. Where we leave off at? You guys, let me know if you guys are still here. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. My bad. I have rain hitting me over here in the Central Cali area. So we've had a consistent like rainstorm passing through the area. So I definitely have had some issues, but I'm back now. Where do we leave off at? I was tangenting on with the article, and then I checked over here, and then I saw that you guys lost me. What was the last thing that you guys heard? Because we were looking at this article. My bad, guys. That's good. That sucks. I apologize. All right, so we were reading this article right here from cosmicbook dot news, and I need you guys. Gunn not being a Trump supporter. Okay, that's where we left off. Okay. All right. Thank you, Edwin. All right, so let me scroll back up. Uh, Yeah, all right. So, like I said, I don't think that I think that James Gunn has definitely sorry, but I'm like recollecting everything that I ranted off right now. But basically, James Gunn has had like some like words shared here and there like on X and posted things about like against conservatism, and I want to say like just like the whole like Trump MAGA scene, and like regardless of politics, like I don't want to see like people like get divided by that kind of shit. I just want to see good stories made and like good films and comic books again. I just want to go back to like just good stories, you know what I mean? I don't want people to be uh self-inserting things into it, but I definitely feel that way when I saw clips from like Peacemaker season 2 and a lot of the things that I saw in like the Creature Commandos cartoon and like some of the rhetoric that we were getting in the Superman film. A couple things said here and there, not too many, not too on the nose, but definitely like there are a couple like subtle things. But regardless, like I just wish he would shut the fuck up, and I just wish that he we could get to some good content again. But anyway, I think this is where we left it right here. Gunn has had a long, well history with conservatives, and the DCU has been viewed as politically divisive, if not outright woke, a major issue for any Trump aligned ownership group. All right, I said that. Okay, so we were down here, and it says Saudi's now the front runner to buy WBD. Okay. According to the Hollywood producer who first dropped the news, the deal is one signature away. Our insiders say that if the Saudis take over, the Snyderverse will return with Zack Snyder back in full swing. Christopher Nolan may also return as executive producer. Now, I know that Christopher Nolan was hanging around, and Christopher Nolan was a producer for the Batman film by Matt Reeves. So Christopher Nolan's been hanging around. He has ties to the DC universe, of course, obviously the Dark Knight trilogy, like who can forget that, but he cares about this, man. In my eyes, I think he really cares about this succeeding and having like a longevity to it, a good life to it. So it's definitely good to hear Christopher Nolan's name being thrown around when it comes to this. And then it says, we've been told the Saudis want to return a Snyderverse level event to rival Marvel and Avengers Doomsday. Now, I was saying this when you guys probably lost me a little bit around this time, and I was ranting and saying that I really highly doubt anything that's from the previous like 5 years that Marvel has put out can actually be a solid foundation for this film, Avengers Doomsday. Like the Fantastic Four First Steps movie, I watched it for the first time the other night with my folks. I went to their house, had dinner, and my dad wanted to put on the Fantastic Four movie because he didn't watch it either. So I said, "Yeah, sure, we could watch it," and we did watch it. And yeah, I don't see how I don't see how that movie is going to be like a solid foundation for anything in the next like 2 years to be like a crazy massive event. But they're also riding on the coattails of phase 3, phase 4, even phase 5 stuff, and all the weakness that followed up after Infinity War. So I just don't know if 2 years can cut it to release something in the DC universe ballpark that's going to actually like rival the level of hype that Avengers Doomsday is going to be. And I know I'm talking shit saying that Avengers Doomsday doesn't have anything strong to stand on, even though like they're riding on the fumes of like what came before, the good stuff that came before. But regardless, it still has some of that fan base that's going to have sucking on the hopium that Avengers Doomsday is going to like set things straight and bring us all back to form. You know what I mean? So who knows on that point? And then it goes on to say, could two DC universes coexist? So I kind of went off on this when I read it for the first time. Naturally, I pressed the insiders on Gunn's fate. I even floated the idea that with $1 trillion fund, maybe the Saudis would consider running two DC universes side by side, a restored Snyderverse and a separate Gunn-led DCU. I don't think that would work at all. I think that's a very bad idea. You're trying to appease two very vocal fan bases to make them all nice with each other and be happy. But what you really need to do is just make one solid universe that everyone can back up and be like, okay, like I know why you like that one. I know why I like this one. I know why you liked your Superman. I liked my Superman. But this Superman right here, this is Superman that both of us can like set aside our petty differences and actually back this up because this is fucking Superman, right? I would love to see that. And then it continues, from what I'm told, even though the Saudis are also connected to Trump, there is speculation that Gunn could remain involved in some capacity or even collaborate. Like, look, dude, like what? Like James Gunn is going to be like, nah, like you guys are friends with Trump and Orange Man bad. So now I don't want to be a part of this DC universe that I was supposed to be spearheading. You think he's that petty? Like, well, he could be. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's a bit of a weirdo. He's a weirdo fuck. Well, so I don't know. He could be that petty, and he could wash his hands of it. If he is that petty, then he might just leave on his own and just be like, "Yeah, I'm not getting with you." Fucking, he's calling everybody Nazis and shit. So who knows? You never know. Our insiders explained that the Saudis would likely prefer stability at the start, saying they want to keep things humming without rocking the boat. Well, this is definitely the sale is going to rock the boat regardless, and it goes on to say Gunn has deferred to Snyder. Our insiders noted that Gunn himself has previously deferred to Snyder, suggesting Gunn may already know the direction things may be heading. They also noted that everyone's working on their personal roles for possible scenarios as the sale approaches. We can also add that both Gunn and Snyder got their own start at Universal with Dawn of the Dead. Universal is reportedly in the mix to acquire WBD, potentially partnering with the Saudis. We've also been told many times that Gunn and Snyder are friends. Yeah, like, this could be just for optics to be like, hey, Snyder bros and Gunn bros, like, we like each other, so you guys can try to like find some common ground. Haha. Like, it could be for optics, it could be legit. I never believe Instagram posts from actors and things that they say in interviews. Like, these people live, and directors and actors and just Hollywood people in general, these people are all so used to like faking it and acting. Again, like, not to be pun with it, but they're so used to just fibbing and telling you like slanted and altered truths. So you never know if they're actually saying something that has merit to it. Uh, it goes on to say Snyderverse actors are already being positioned. The insiders also pointed out Pierce Brosnan's recent comments about returning as Dr. Fate. Now, I watched that Black Adam movie. It was trash. I don't like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but I did like Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate. I did like that quite a bit. I enjoyed it. It follows saying, and said there's a general uptick in Snyderverse actors being discussed for potential comebacks. Yeah, man, because they're gonna bring back Henry Cavill immediately if this did happen. And I don't know if Ben Affleck would return. I don't know if he was slighted or he felt jaded about the whole decision about he didn't get his own solo film and what have you. So I don't know if he would return. And then there's always that the wild card up in the air is still this Matt Reeves Batman Part 2 film. Like, where does that fit into this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just such a mess, dude. Like, the hole that they dug themselves is it's so annoying to just watch this happen. And then the end of this says Snyder's own steady drip of DCU EU images has only fueled the speculation. Now, that right there, if you guys don't know what this sentence is referring to, Zack Snyder has been posting on his Instagram page like photos of the Ben Affleck Batman in like black and white, like really dark, cool shots from the filming. Henry Cavill's Superman, and just different shots of the two characters because he really cared about those characters. He really cared about that movie that he put together. Even if you watch the Ultimate Edition of that film, I don't care what you say, it's still a bit of a mess. So that's neither here nor there. And then it sums up right here saying the insiders summed it up. There's a lot of table setting with previous Snyderverse characters possibly coming back, and that's the end of the article. Okay, and then that's when I looked at the screen and I realized I lost you guys. But yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. Like, this is just a whole lot of what if, and I know it's annoying to some of you guys, but this is really interesting that there's some people that are reading this article and they're writing it and they're going with like the titles on their videos and their posts saying the Snyderverse, Snyder's coming back, we're saved. So I just want to say, like, on this channel, I'm gonna be just real speculative with a grain of salt. You never know what's gonna happen. All right. So I'm just gonna stop sharing that. I really apologize that I lost you guys and I wasn't paying attention. That really was a real big fumble on my part. Yeah, my bad, guys. He's still live. Yeah, my bad. My bad, Edwin. Issues. Gun. Okay. All right. I'm caught up. Captain Keeley. What's up? Keeley? Not a big fan of the Hollywood types. Neither am I, my friend. Neither am I. I like old Hollywood. I like old, like 50s, 60s, 70s, even some of the 80s Hollywood people. But new Hollywood is just a travesty full of real fake backstabbing people, virtual signaling all the time. Dude, remember when I'm gonna go on a rant, a little tangent. Remember when COVID happened and they did that fucking creepy video of them recording themselves in like black and white, and they're all singing John Legend's "Imagine," and they were like, "Imagine all the people." Yeah, they were singing that, and like it was just so cringe. And they were doing it over like a Zoom call. Oh gosh, man, those people are just so fake. Whew. Peaktisms is back. Yeah, my bad, SWA. The Christopher Nolan part, I have trouble believing regarding his despise for Warner Brothers. Yeah, well, I'm not 100% certain. I don't know exactly too much about that. You could probably fill me in if you want, SWA, but Christopher Nolan, I know that he did care about the DCU property. That I know. I know for sure he did. Somehow Dr. Fate returned. The Batman 2 2060. Dude, I'm saying, man, like that movie's like up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen in that regard. It's honestly frustrating because the sequel should have the sequel should have been filmed and should have came out already in my opinion. So it's a little frustrating to watch that happen. Robert Pattinson has we've covered it before on a stream. Robert Pattinson is very like frustrated and annoyed with how that went down, and the sequel actors are all fake. Yes, they are. Isn't it supposed to release next year? The Batman 2? Not that I know of, Edwin. Not that I know of. WB messed up the Snyderverse. Nolan and WB are not on good terms. Yeah, so like okay. All right. I could see that. That makes a little more sense, yeah. Yeah, but I don't know, dude. I don't know, guys. This is like the Snyderverse coming back. It's not necessarily the saving Hail Mary full of grace thing that I think is going to make me happy. Will it make a lot of Snyder Bros happy? Of course, it'll make them happy. Will he stick the landing? I mean, dude, that Rebel, what is that? What was that one that he came out with? Is it Rebel Moon or some like Star Wars? He tried to say it was his version of Star Wars movie that he put out on Netflix. That movie was awful. I don't know, dude. I'm just not a fan of Zack Snyder's style, I guess I could say. His style is not the direction that I would take a lot of this stuff, man. So, and James Gunn is the style for James Gunn is a little more leaning towards what I like, but I don't like his execution on it is just it's just not there for me either. So, I can never be satisfied if that can put it in perspective, guys. I can never be satisfied. there needs to be a course correction, whichever universe it is. Yeah, whichever universe does move forward, it needs to be course corrected either way. All right. There was another article that I wanted to show because I put it at the thumbnail, man. I put a Green Lantern thumbnail tonight because I wanted to cover up some of the chatter around Lanterns, the show, the TV series, and that one's also one too that I've like mentioned before that I don't know exactly how to feel about seeing some of the stuff that I see because we're seeing like an older Hal Jordan and then Jon Stewart, a buddy cop TV show on HBO, and I think it's personally going to be possibly like a bait and switch where we get a little bit of Hal and then some either Hal dies or retires, and then it's going to be a Jon Stewart story, which I've said it on record before, man. Jon Stewart, I love Jon Stewart, the Green Lantern. I really do. He's a great Green Lantern. He's one of the main Green Lanterns of Earth. I think he has more of a place than Guy Gardner does as Green Lantern of Earth. And I'm even gonna recommend some Jon Stewart Green Lantern comics at the end of the stream tonight. But Hal Jordan is the definitive Green Lantern. Hal Jordan has been like the main Justice League Green Lantern back in the day. So I really have an issue that we're not going to get like a peak Hal Jordan Green Lantern kind of entity going, whether it be a movie or a show. But anyway, this was one article that I wanted to like show to you guys. Let me get share on screen real quick. And then I'll get to your question, SWA. I saw you in the chat. All right, here we go. I am really annoyed that I didn't pay attention to my stream cutting out like that, guys. My bad. And if you're watching on the replay, you guys can laugh at me in the comment section. Ha ha ha. Maybe I'll edit that out. Maybe I'll try to edit the stream. I don't know if I can. We'll see. All right, so this was posted by comicbookmovie.com, and this says Lantern's showrunner seemingly hints Hal Jordan will spoiler in the DCU series. There's been a lot of speculation regarding Hal Jordan's future in the DCU. Now, Lantern's showrunner Chris Mundy may have provided a big clue to the character's fate at the end of the HBO series. Lanterns will be making its way to HBO next year. The show stars Aaron Pierre as Jon Stewart and Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan as they investigate a murder in a small town. Dude, so right off the bat, why are we doing this murder in the small town bullshit when we're talking about the Green Lantern core, the core that spans over sectors of the universe and different galaxies, but we're going to be in a small town on Earth? I don't know. I don't know, man. You somebody tell me, make it make sense, right? The series will be the first live action representation of Hal Jordan in 15 years. That's facts. Ryan Reynolds wants to burn that film to the ground if he could. Since the release of 2011's Green Lantern starring Ryan Reynolds, the project is making a big change to Green Lantern lore, depicting Hal Jordan as an older, experienced hero in his late 50s, early 60s. Given the actor's age, many have wondered, excuse me, guys, whether Lanterns will feature his character's death, thus making Jon Stewart the main Lantern of the DCU. So, look, man, right here, like Kyle Chandler, he has the look for it, but I don't want an old Hal Jordan, dude. I want like peak, like 20s, 30s Hal Jordan, like aged in his 20s and 30s. You know what or he probably became Green Lantern in like his late 20s, early 30s, if I'm being fair. But yeah, like that's kind of what I wanted, man. But there we go in again. Says now we may emphasize on may have gotten a clue as to what will be Hal Jordan's fate come the end of the series. Men's Health recently did a profile on Jon Stewart actor Aaron Pierre where he discussed Lanterns and his former involvement in Marvel Studios' Blade. Oh, wow, the Blade movie that's never coming out, right? For the piece, the outlet also sat down with Lantern's creator and showrunner Chris Mundy from Ozark and Criminal Minds, and he was asked whether or not the show would use Hal and John's initial antagonistic dynamic from the comics. Mundy offered an interesting response, stating the show was about replacement and the idea of a character needing to step aside, possibly hinting at Hal Jordan not dying by the end of the show, but retiring. All right. And it continues to read. It says, our show is in a lot of ways about replacement. When should someone step aside, and when is it time for the next person to take the reins? The push and pull between those two characters is really important. All right. Mundy further explained that the important character trait of Jon Stewart is that he knows he belongs to the core, allowing him to feel confident, and mostly important for a hero who can create, he can possibly dream of. For a hero who can create, he can possibly dream of. I think there's a typo there. Keep his balance. Keep it intimidating presence physically, but yeah, that's kind of man. Like the picture silver with that is how worry, but it's and let me just catch up on it. Technical difficulties. I'm glitching again on how about that? Man, dude. Okay, here we go. Back to your chat. Can you imagine if Parallax, James Gunn, quick before the sale happens, he's Blackest Night sideline how? Okay. Still the same? And dude, it's really annoying. Let me refresh my. It's fine now. My bad, guys. I really apologize. If you're watching this live, I apologize. And if you're catching this on the replay, I apologize. We're having tonight. Where maybe they're trying to stick with being cheap until the sale because of their debt. Where's Ferris? That's a good question. And Switch, yeah, it's sounding like a ball. Well, so they just said, right, I remember a bit ago someone said it's John's story, but if it is John's story, like I don't want you to introduce me to Hal Jordan and give me some Hal Jordan and then take away for John's. Just that's kind of where I'm at with that. Oh my gosh, it is not cooperating. StreamYard is not cooperating with me. The rain of the case it is when. All right. I have no idea if the stream is even coming in for you guys now. Yeah, see the chat like is all over the place. I clicked like 5 chats and then it's pause. All right, no chats are going to be put up on screen because it's glitching all over the place. But if you guys can hear this, this is basically like it's saying like a bit. It's going in and out to Edwin. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Go ahead and let me let me see. I'm trying. Let me try to fix something right here on my end real quick because I am came at a great time. What's up? What's up, Brandon? We're having a little technical difficulties right now. I got like a rainstorm going over where I'm at in my neck of the woods, so I'm having a little bit of connection issues tonight. Yeah, good to see you though. Welcome to the stream. It goes in and out. Yeah, my bad, Edwin. My bad to everybody. All right, so if you guys can hear me, this basically was saying that they also kind of, let me just sum this up right here. It's basically saying that Mundy could have misspoken or have been referring to the overall idea that Howell is grappling with having a newer, younger partner that will eventually replace him. With that said, that makes the showrunner's response seem seemingly revealing is the fact that he never mentioned death. He specifically talked about the show being about passing the baton to the next generation. Yeah, so we could call this like how Oddball said it could be a bait and switch, and like I was speculating, like I don't know if it's gonna be a bait and switch story, but if it is, honestly, go fuck yourself. But yeah, I feel really thrown off with like the technical difficulty thing, so my bad, guys. Okay, they just go off about saying some other things that we already know, and then they end it right there. All right, that was pretty much it for this one. But yeah, like Lanterns bait and switch show. I don't know if it's gonna be one. Like I said, I am a fan of. God damn it, dude. Hello, hello, hello. All right, we'll stop sharing the screen. I think that might be taking from us right now. Well, I don't think it's exactly that, Brandon. I think, like I said, I like John Stewart, the Green Lantern. John Stewart, he is a good character, but I think that the way that they're going about this with like a bait and switch kind of feel to it, it's just it's kind of it's annoying. It's annoying. I've been here before. I've seen this before. I've seen it happen before. So I hope it's good and misleading. Me too. I hope it's good too, but yeah, I don't. I'm not. I know I'm fumbling right now, but I'm just a little more frustrated with the direction, the whole direction of the James Gunn universe. It frustrates me, and I like how Brandon said right here. I checked out of the DCU after Superman. I checked out on a lot of the vision that James Gunn has for this universe. It's very frustrating to me. So I'll just say that I don't know. We're gonna see what happens, but more than likely, I'm not going to be pleased with what happens on this. But anyway, I think that those were the only 2 articles that I wanted to cover. Um, the 2 people involved with lanterns are big red flags. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I know John's good. My issue is them pulling another replacement of a beloved white character. I mean, they did ruin a beloved character like the Falcon when they made him Cap. Yeah, yep, that's a good point. Man, dude, I'm really bummed out, guys, about the technical difficulties. I anticipated having some problems tonight with the storm, but I didn't think it was gonna fuck me up this bad. So my bad, guys. I apologize. And like he said, like SWA said earlier, this is what happens when you push of the floppy stream. I should have just streamed last night like I was supposed to, but I had some family thing happen, so it couldn't be helped. All right, but I think before we continue on with the glitchiness and annoying everybody that's watching this live, we might wrap it up on the talk right there. I think we can go into my recommendations for you guys for the week. But but to sum it up, Green Lantern or the Lantern Show for HBO. I'm gonna watch it. I'll definitely check it out. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. We're gonna see what happens. I know it sounds like a grift because I've talked about the Lantern Show quite a few times already, and there's like a minuscule amount of information that has come out. So, you're good now. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah. But we're gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and speaking of the Green Lantern topic tonight, I want to let's share, maybe if I can share my screen and have it not fuck me up anymore, because I am on a Wi-Fi, but I am on a Wi-Fi out in like the country of where I live, and the storm doesn't help that fact. So, but I appreciate everybody that stuck around during the stream watching this, and if you're watching the replay, I apologize for the difficulties during the stream. All right, so with that all being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to recommend you guys some good John Stewart stories. Okay, some good great Green Lantern John Stewart stories. I want to first start off with a newer one from 2023. This is titled Green Lantern War Journal. This is a 18-part series, and I don't know if it's still ongoing. I could be mistaken. I don't think it is, but this is focused on John Stewart, and the synopsis for issue number 1 reads: John Stewart returns in an epic new series from the pages of Green Lantern. John Stewart's time as a Green Lantern has come to an end, or so he thinks. A family tragedy calls him back home, and as John begins to reclaim the career he once left behind, he tries to embrace a peaceful post-superhero life. But when a terrifying and contagious force with a mysterious connection to Oa appears on Earth, the last Green Lantern of another universe comes seeking the only warrior to face this threat and win, the immortal guardian and builder, John Stewart himself. Can this brilliant but brash young lantern help John discover the qualities that made him one of the greatest lanterns of the entire multiverse? Featuring the first appearance of an iconic and terrifying new villain. So, like I said, guys, this one had 18 issues for this series, and this one's a good story. I read this story and I enjoyed it, and I think it's a solid John Stewart story for sure. I'm trying to find. I have this variant by John Jang. I did get that one. I do have the Dave Wilkins variant right here. I don't have that one. I don't have that one. Yeah, I think I just have those two variants are the ones that I got. This one and this one. But very good story. And I have like the first 5 issues, and then I bought the trade paperback. So I recommend, if you guys want to have a good John Stewart story that's a little more recent, on the timeline, go check out Green Lantern War Journal. This is a solid book, good series, good story to give a shot to. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead, and that was my first recommendation was Green Lantern War Journal, and then my next recommendation for you guys is going to be, get it on screen. We got Green Lantern Mosaic, and this is what that issue was. This one debuted in 1992, and this is a John Stewart story, only a John Stewart solo story, and the synopsis is: an insane guardian of the universe has taken pleasant memories of visiting various planets and deciding to bring parts of those vacation spots to Oa. The citizens have a big problem with this. And I don't want to really spoil too much of this. I think if you guys want to get into this, like, go check it out. And like I said, I'm just recommending it for you. But this is a good solid story for John Stewart. And like I said, I'm going to back out real quick right here. If I hit backspace, is it going to let me go? Nope. Okay, go one more. There we go. Internet is not. Oh, I'm glitching again. Ugh. Jesus Christ. All right. Sound off again if you guys can hear me okay. I'm not trying to talk glitchy and sound like a robot. I'm just trying to get through some recommendations for you guys, man. That's all, man. That's all. But basically, this is the Mosaic run. These are the covers. What it looks like. This is a good story from John Stewart. This really tests and pushed John Stewart to the limits of him as a Lantern and like his capabilities of his use of the Green Lantern ring. This is a very iconic story. So I definitely I encourage and urge you guys to go check it out. All right, it's good. Thanks, SWA. Appreciate it. But yeah, Green Lantern Mosaic. That's my second recommendation for you guys. I'm gonna probably wrap up right now, just because, like I said, the storm is really messing me up. So this has been a little frustrating, but I'm not trying to let it upset me too bad. But yeah, I hope you guys can check out those ones, and we'll probably just go ahead and call it right there. I know I've said it throughout this, man. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties. The rain is, I can hear it outside right now through the window. The rain is just pouring. It's coming down heavy. So I'm surprised I was even able to stream for a little bit. But anyway, I appreciate you guys in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. SWA, shout out to you. Brandon, I know you popped in a little bit later, but maybe you can check out the replay at the beginning. We did have a good discussion in the beginning of the stream before it started getting all foggy on us. And Edwin, shout out to Edwin in the room too. Shout out to Keely, he was in the room with us. And shout out to Stig. Stig Kenobi was in here too, giving his 2 cents on some of the Norse stuff, Norse mythology that we were talking about. But anyway, so I think that'll be it for me, guys. Check us out on the channel. Post in the community tab if you guys want to talk anything or discuss anything with me. If you guys also too want to talk to me, follow me on X. It's on the banner down below as my handle, at the Decrepit One. You guys can go ahead and hit me up on X right there, and I'm always ready to discuss some stuff with you guys. But I think we're gonna go ahead and call it there, and I'll catch you guys what's this Thursday. We might be doing an unlimited tirade. Oh no, that was last week. So we're going to be doing solo tirade. We'll do a solo stream, solo tirade this Thursday. All right, we'll do unlimited tirade next week. All right, but with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and cut it right there. You guys all have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me, and as always, may the force be with you all, and go fuck yourself. Good night, everybody.